$110,000 in 8 months, and you took 2 months off. So we'll get into that here in a second. But Aaron, but tell the folks who you are, why insurance, what you do before insurance, where you live at, why face-to-face sales, family, friends, a little bit about yourself.
Man, honestly, you could call me crazy, but the first time I got presented to this position and this job, and I actually kind of turned it down. I heard about it through a family friend, and I've been blessed enough to be connected with Zach McElwain, if everybody knows him on the call here. I'm sure if not, you've probably heard of him. He's a wizard in the insurance industry. I'll put it that way. So, but no, I had a bad taste at face-to-face sales before I even got into this. I tried right out of college. I tried selling water softener filtration systems, and that's like rain. If anybody's ever heard of that, it's like rain soft whole home filtration systems that helps you with saving detergents. Your water's completely clear. I mean, your hair feels better when you wash it. So no, so that honestly put a bad taste in my mouth, the face-to-face sales. So that's what kind of steered me away from this. I went into car sales a little bit. I didn't see any upside and potential down the line. I mean, you could work as long as you wanted. You're going to work every Friday, every Saturday. I found success with it, but I wanted something that, kind of gave me a path to succeed a little bit further. And, the second time around, when I actually sat down and talked with Zach and he kind of mapped out, the potential in this industry, I fell in love with it once I got up and going. But I will tell you, the hardest part for me was to get up and go, and just
Mm.
learning everything initially.
Nah, I love that. This is good so far. So you're a car salesman at first, and you did not like working your Fridays or your weekends all the time. So you figured the insurance industry can give you some time freedom. Put in the
And
chat, guys, time freedom. Go ahead, Aaron.
yes, not only time, everybody wants money and everybody wants time. And in this industry, in this industry, you can have both. You can have time and money. Now, starting out, you're not going to have that time because you are starting your own business. Okay, this is you are your when I started out, I was Aaron Hicks. Uh, uh, Company. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that would be, I had to look at it from a business aspect. I had to pour time into it. I had to study my craft. And luckily, I found a mentor that guided me along that startup because I believe the numbers are right. Only 8% make it in this industry, right? And I'll tell you right
Yep.
now,
Yep.
90% of it more than likely fall off in that first year because that first year is your absolute hardest. And you're not going to be nearly as good at this as what you think or what you want to be. But you look at the guy next to you and you ask yourself, why not? Why can't I do what he's doing?
I
And
love that.
you just go with it.
I love that. I love that. You said find a mentor. That's the one jewel I heard. Find a mentor. Find a mentor. Love it. So let's hop into it. So your first year, you're in the insurance business now. You got a mentor. You're hopping in. Like, what did your first 30 to 90 days look like? Like, what did that look like for you? Like, how many days were you working? Like, what was the experience in your first 30 to 90 days as an insurance agent?
I'll tell you, there's one thing out of that video that we just watched that I really pulled out of hit home. It was learning how to fail. I'll tell you that right
Mm,
now, learning how to fail because you just honestly, as all sales is, it's a numbers game, and you got to understand that you're going to have your highs and you're going to have your lows, but you have to get in front of enough people. You have to spend the time talking with people, learning what you're maybe saying wrong, maybe what you're doing right, and just working on your craft. So that first 30 to 90 days was stressful. You know, I made a lot of mistakes, but you learn from each mistake. Each house you talk to, each person you talk to, there's something you did or you didn't do initially. And you learn from it. You pick it up, you go, and you don't take it to your next house because I didn't
mhm.
mention I door to door primarily. I run direct mail leads and I'm door knocking, cold knocking. Um,
Gotcha.
Monday.
Now, Aaron, did you hop in full time? Or did you come in part time? Get your little toes wet. What'd you do in the beginning?
I dove in full time. I did.
Okay,
I,
okay,
so I initially took my test around January, February. Fortunate enough, I had a little bit of income saved up. And like I said, I looked at this as starting my own business. And when you start your own business, you have to invest money and you have to invest time. So, I'll be very clear. I know you see those numbers where it's 100,000 issue paid, but initially it's not 100,000 because you have to reinvest. Invest. You know, you don't just make 100,000 the next year without reinvesting. So
absolutely, absolutely. So you came in full time. You're rocking and rolling. How many lead? Now, did you start buying leads from the beginning, or did you wait a little bit to start buying leads?
yeah, I just dove right in. I'm up to now. I take about 25. I like my direct mail leads. Now I know there's several different avenues, but I like my direct mail leads, and I run about 25 of those a week now. Starting out initially, it was 20, and I realized
Yeah,
after I did that for about a year that honestly I was kind of working part time, just working 20. That
yeah.
5 extra a week can make a very big difference in your income level.
Got it. Love it. This is good. So, guys, this is good so far. Put some 5 emojis in the chat. So, you started out full time, came in, started buying leads. Didn't wait a few weeks. Didn't wait a few months. Didn't wait a few days. Came in, started buying leads immediately. Okay, started getting 20 direct mail leads. Direct mail is a lead where it goes to the client's home. They get a letter saying, "Hey, you want to know more about life insurance?" They fill it out and then mail it back into us. And then Aaron gets it. He goes to see them face to face. Now, Aaron, what is the cost of your lead order? Your lead order in your first year of business? What was it? $100, 3,000, 2,000, 1,000? What's the cost for your lead cost every single week in the beginning?
The cost for my for at the beginning,
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
was around $800 a week or so. And then obviously after you make that back off one or two sales, everything else is profit on you. So your first year is obviously your hardest because you don't get that full commission right up front, as a lot of people do know, or might not know starting out. You're only getting that 75% advance when you're in the simplified issue market. So it's key to obviously budget your business to be able to reinvest it because you're going to buy those leads again next week and you're going to have to do it again the week after. So that's just a big key factor to keep in mind.
Quick question for you.
That quick.
You're hitting on leads right now, which is very, very important, right? I
Yeah,
truly believe it's like the bloodline of your business, especially
absolutely.
for phone sales and field sales. Okay. Um, when you first started, did you have any hesitations to buy leads when your coach told you to buy leads, or did you just
No,
jump straight in
no.
like,
I'll tell you right now, Jalen, I absolutely had hesitations. I will tell you right now because that's a lot of money, right? To
yeah,
a lot of people, especially starting out in this and it's new. So I had to feel comfortable. I made sure I was perfecting my craft before I dove right in. I at least had my presentation down. Now you're never going to feel comfortable enough, right? Because the best way to learn is to get thrown out there to the wolves, just about, and go talk to people. I'll be right, be honest with you, and it's going to take you some time. It's your sits starting out are going to be a lot longer than when you learn how to be way more efficient.
hmm
So just honestly being thrown out to the wolves and talking with people, that's one of the best ways to learn. And if you have somebody, and I can already tell with the energy of this team and the team camaraderie, that you can find somebody who's been successful at this and ask them questions. I will tell you right now, I'm sure Jalen, Mike, I know you all will help answer any questions that anybody would have after you got done with a house that maybe you didn't sell.
yeah.
Those are you learn most from.
I like that. I
That's
like that.
good. That's
Hold on,
good, Jalen.
hold on, Mike. Mike. Hey, I got some questions for Aaron too, right? Okay, so you didn't have any hesitation buying leads. You know, there's a lot of money coming in. Um, this is a two-way question, right? My mentality when I buy leads is I want to make my money back the day that I go in the field. Like I want to get an ROI that Monday, and I want to be
Yeah.
in profit if possible Monday. Like when I get in the field Monday, I want to be in profit after Monday. Is that your same mentality? What's your mentality when you're running your leads?
I will say absolutely. That's my mentality at first. Now, I want to tell all the new agents as well, do not let that get in your head if you do not make that return on investment on Monday. It is a very long week. You might have the worst Monday, but that next day, that Tuesday, it can be $4,000 to $5,000. You honestly do not know in this business. That's the most exciting part. I see you smiling now, Jalen. But no, that is the most exciting parts. Now, it can be one of the hardest because mentally, this job is 98% mental. The other 2% for me, for failed sales, is getting out in my car, driving, and going knocking on doors. For you, it might be picking up the phone and dialing. But as long as you keep your head just, mentally prepared, that is going to greatly show approval in your sales.
I like that. Hey, what I hear from Aaron, I'm gonna give you guys the Urban Dictionary version. He says, "Scared money don't make no money." Right? That's what he essentially says. Scared money don't make no money. Right? And then what he also said was, guys, make sure you guys are reinvesting into your business, right? And no matter how that Monday starts out, the business always works itself out.
Yes.
Like I remember my mentor told me that when I first got into the business and I was struggling, I didn't make any sales my first whole week. I didn't make any sales my first week. And he came to me, he said, "Jalen, you're putting the activity in, but the whole thing that's causing you to not have any success is your mental attitude." And he told me, "Jalen, if you change your mindset, you will be able to have a lot more success." He said, "The business always works itself out." So guess what? I know every single day I go out and make a phone call, if I'm knocking a door, I know how much money I'm making per door knock.
Yep.
Based off of what my experience. But when I first started this business, I had to start tricking my mind a little bit. Like, okay, cool. The business always works itself out. The business always works itself out. I want you guys to remember something. A lot of people are so caught up in instant gratification that they fail to realize that when they were working at a job, they had to wait a whole 2 weeks to get paid. But you get one check in the insurance business, you're like, hey, I want to get paid every single day. Well, we all want to get paid every single day, but you get mad because you don't have the day that you're looking for, or 2 days that you're looking for. And then you go back to a job that's not going to pay you for a whole 2 weeks, and it's a lot less than what you're making if you go out there and write business. Like I remember I told my mentor, I said, "Hey, I'm not having a successful week. I'm thinking about going back and getting my job." And he said, "The job you're only making $600 every 2 weeks at? What? You're tripping. You're tripping. No, right?" But it takes that person to hold you accountable and to be honest with you. Be like, "No, you're not doing that. Like you've already proven to yourself that you can make this thing work. It just requires more belief, more faith, and more consistency." So, Aaron, man, I took a lot out of that, man. I appreciate you for sharing that. I know Mike has a lot of questions, man.
I've got one here too, and then we'll give it back to you here, Mike. Okay. All right. There's a couple of things, Aaron, that you really brought up, and I really want you to kind of get into that a little bit more. Okay. Is first, you made a comment about mastering your craft. You knew your presentation, but you also knew it wasn't perfect. The only way that you're going to get it perfect was to actually go out in the field and actually practice it in front.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's that part, because you got a lot of new agents that they sit and they're trying to master, like, no, I can't get out there. I don't know my presentation, or I don't feel 100%. You're never going to feel 100% in there unless you get out there. We've talked about the leads, okay, that you have to purchase leads. But you can purchase leads and not sell anything because you're not doing the activity. So can you explain to everybody what your activity was? Because yes, myself, Mike, Jalen, we've all kind of told our stories, really what's happening, but not everybody knows your stories, okay? how much work did you actually have to put in every single week? And what would happen is if you got some leads, you went out there and you did door knocks and you didn't catch anybody home. What was the day like that for you?
Yeah, so it's just the consistency, Michael, and honestly, the resentment of just not giving up. And I even started out on what we call CPO, just free leads that are aged, just for me to go knock so that you're going to get turned down probably a lot more, but even just knocking, overcoming the fear of going and knocking and talking to somebody and trying to just create a little bit of relateness to them in the 30 seconds that you talk with them on the front door. So it was just being relentless over and over again. And I mean, I make it sound like you're really working a lot, but honestly, when it compares to a lot of these other jobs where you're working jail, like you mentioned, you're not getting paid for working 80-hour, sometimes you're working 60, 70-hour weeks. I'm not knocking 60 or 70 hours a week. I'm knocking from maybe 10 a.m. when I first started all the way to the sundown, and I would do that Monday through Thursday, and as many people as I could get in front of just to try to practice and honestly fail first so I could succeed.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. No, that's good, man. So we're talking 4 days a week. 4 days a week. You spend about $800 a week. That's about 3,200 a month. Times about the 8 months you work, that's about 25,000. Yes, I used a calculator before I brought this point up. That's 25,000 you spent in 8 months, but you paid 110,000 into your account. I don't know about you guys, but who on this line would want to? It's okay of doing that. 4 days a week, spending $800 a week, spending 25,000 in 8 months on leads.
Yeah,
there's some people on the line that don't know what a lead is. And what's a lead? Because there's some people that are like, "What's a lead? What is that? What does that sound like? What is a lead, Aaron?"
a lead. Well, just to give you an actual definition to a lead is just an opportunity to talk to somebody. Is what I say right there. But an actual lead, a direct mail lead, I keep these. I got a bunch of them in my card right here. Just something that they had signed, mailed back in, and all it is it basically states half of them don't even read it, but it says life insurance, and something caught their attention. They filled it out and mailed it back to you. And you're the person there to give them the information and let them know what they qualify for.
And Aaron, when you go to the door where someone has requested information about life insurance, you're actually going to a door that says, "Hey, I need life insurance. Come see me, please." When you go to that door, like, what are you saying? Like, what are you saying to people to do all these sales? What's your door knock approach?
Yeah, I'm very laid back. If I'm having a tough day getting indoors, and I mean, it's a house that maybe has nice flowers or anything, I'll try to compliment them on anything little just to already get a smile out of them. Even if they got a shirt that's, wearing something that says something, or a football team, anything just to catch them smiling a little bit. I mean, there's two things when you see a strange person come up to your house. They're going to ask, who is this person and who are they with? Those are the first two questions that I answer every single time: is who I am, who I'm with, and then I answer who I'm looking for. I ask you as far as on my lead card, I ask to see if they're around and they're available. And then I'm just letting them know who I am, and I'm telling them I'm just here to give them the information and letting them know what they qualify for. So nothing salesy about it, nothing like we're being any pushy. I'm just here to give you this information.
Boom. That's it. That's it. I love that. And then Aaron. So right now, you did 6 figures in basically 6 months. Is there any advice? We're gonna open up for Q&A here in a second. Is there any advice that you can give to an agent that may have mailed this today on a Monday? They may have knocked maybe 10 houses or 15 houses, and no one answered the door. Like, Mike, what the heck? Does this business even work? Like, I went out there, I knocked so many doors, I made no, like, what kind of advice can you give to someone that maybe called 50 people today and no one answered the phone? People that did answer the phone, they didn't want to buy any insurance. What kind of advice can you give to someone like that that's right now in their business doing that right now?
I tell you, Mike, right now, that I've been there myself. I've done it, and I've exhausted and wasted so much energy thinking about the negative side, and wasting time being more concerned about actually just going out and doing it again the next day. To be honest with you, you realize even after your first year or so how much time you've wasted. Maybe I pulled over and I just was like, maybe this business isn't for me. I don't think this system really works, or these leads aren't no good. These leads aren't. You just got to keep it simple. It is an opportunity to talk to somebody, and as long as you continuously push to talk to get in front of another person, there is going to be somebody that needs your help. I will tell you that right now.
I love that. I love that. Now, and if you're like me, man, like Jalen or Mr. Bond, I think we all probably quit. I mean, I quit my first 6 months like every 2 hours.
I
I
did.
was quitting. I was on. You too? Okay,
Yeah.
just making sure. My first 6 months, I would go a day, come home, get on LinkedIn. Man, that job at Bank of America sure does look good. They got some comfortable chairs over there.
I wasted time creating a resume just to put it on LinkedIn, just to come back and work and sell 2,000. No.
Hey, I didn't even go that far. I don't have a resume, but go ahead, Jalen.
Hey guys, that's really, really good, man. Like I forgot all about those days, man. Like, man, like this wanting to quit. I remember, Aaron, like I didn't have any money, so I used to like do neighborhood enrollments, and I used to just go and knock. I just parked my car because I didn't have any gas, so I just found the nearest neighborhood. Typically like a final expense neighborhood, right? I just parked my car, and my goal was just to knock 100 doors to keep the activity. You guys with me? Like
that's dedication, right?
The activity, because I believe the business worked because people were winning in the business. Yeah. But I wanted to keep my activity, my momentum going. But what I see a lot of times happening is that agents will not have a good week and they stop investing in leads and they don't have the money to buy leads. They'll get out of training and they don't do anything with the information. But I wanted to keep that activity going. I wanted to keep that momentum going from when I got out of training to keep pushing and keep going, right? And listen, in this business, you guys have to do whatever it takes. Like nobody's gonna come and pick you up and take you to success. You have to be willing and able to get up every single day and make it happen for you and your family, right? I want you guys to write something down if you're taking notes. This is a 18-month process. It's an 18-month process. Now, if you're a rock star like Aaron, it's an 8-month process, right? But it is an 18-month process for you to go out and really start winning large. There's so much to learn in this business. Like there's so many different products that you can learn. Aaron, how many products did you focus in on when you first came in?
Oh, don't be too concerned about all the different products. We simplified it, and I was just in the simplified life issue. And still, the majority of my business is whole life insurance.
Yep.
That's it, whole life. Now we're branching out. I'm definitely doing more Medicare. I've picked up about 30 Medicare clients or so this past year. So, but then you can add on, but don't overwhelm yourself too much at first.
That's so key. That's so key because a distracted person with a lot of different products, they're not going to do nothing, right? Yeah. Like I remember when I came over to my mentor the first time, I was at another organization the first time. I'm not going to mention the company's names, but it starts with an S, right? And they primarily had a lot of different products. Very good company, great company, but they had so many different products, so much information. I'm like, Lord, where do I want to put my head at, right? Yeah. And I didn't make any money. I made less than $10,000 my first year. I didn't hit the home run like you, Aaron. I made less than $10,000 my first year, and I came to my mentor and I said, "Hey, teach me everything that you know." I came in and I did not do anything that he taught me. I was still trying to do everything. I was trying to do mortgage protection. I was trying to do final expense. I was trying to do annuities. I was trying to do everything. And then he let me do it for like 3 months, and then I came to him. I said, "Listen, I'm not getting any results." And he said, well, you're doing the same thing that you were doing there. What are you here for? And I'm like, well, I'm trying to make some money. He said, okay, cool. I don't know what you have more information. Catch this, y'all. He said, you have more information about the life insurance industry than I do, but I'm making more money than you. And I said, what do you mean like that? He said, a master of all is a master of none. A master of all is a master of none. You see, the reason why doctors who are specialists, like brain surgeons, make so much money is because they're specialists, right, Aaron? But a general practitioner, they still make decent amount of money. But if you want to become a specialist in this business, final expense is my bread and butter, right? And all the other products, they'll come as you become better and you develop. But I just wanted to share that with you guys because, Aaron, what you're sharing, man, is so key when it comes to this business. Go ahead, Mike.
Absolutely. We'll have we're gonna end the call in the next 3 to 4 minutes. We only have time for 3 questions, guys. If you have a question, we only have time for 3 of them. You can unmute your line. You can put your question in the chat. We respect Aaron's time. It's getting a little dark out there in Kentucky, man. I know I'm in Cincinnati myself, so I know we're pretty close. But we got time for 3 questions, guys.
Hey. I didn't think I would get to speak so easily.
Drizzy.
Yeah, this is Drake. And mine is more like a comment. I just want to display some gratitude. And, I'm just really thankful for this information right here. Especially like the things he said, like, when you have to face the wolves and when you fail, and clearly he had the mentality to keep on going, even though things were very difficult at times. And just like a lot of people that I've run into who are really successful in this industry have a mindset of simplicity. They apply the instructions really well and don't overcomplicate it. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for that information.
Absolutely, Drake. No, thank you for taking your time to sit here and try to soak in all that information. And I'm telling you right now, each one of these guys will tell you that, like they said before, that they wanted to quit this business or just maybe thought it wasn't for them. But there's a wall that you do have to push through. And that's, I believe that if you want to be successful at anything, you're going to have barriers and roadblocks you have to overcome.